In this urban gameplay video, I'm going to rank my 5 favorite GTA games that had the most overall impact on me personally, so make sure you keep it locked.
Number 5.
When people like to think of their first GTA game, they tend to think back to the fond memories of Vice City, which took the idea of an open world sandbox and really made it its own. At the time, nothing had really been anything like it before, and that just made the whole game that much more appealing to the masses. Side missions, a wide variety of different vehicles to drive and steal, and a colourful cast of characters that you end up loving to hate, whether you like it or not. Vice City was clearly a major step in the right direction for Rockstar Games, and it just proves that a lot of what the new Grand Theft Auto games have learned over the years have primarily stemmed from one of the best in the series with the name of Vice City. GTA 4 may have created the living joke that is Niko Bellic's cousin known as Romek Bellic and his addiction to go bowling with him every other weekday, but the whole exchange of the game brought the Grand Theft Auto franchise to a much darker and realistic modern light that the game hadn't seen before. GTA 4 took a lot what the previous games has taught the developers and then proceeded to kick it up a notch with a slightly darker undertone and even some online capabilities as well. Even though Niko Bellic's cousin might be a giant pain in the back, the story, the characters, and the world of Grand Theft Auto 4 really demonstrated to the players that Rockstar was definitely moving ahead with the times, even in a world where FPS games were beginning to reign supreme.
Number 3.
When it came to the announcement of Grand Theft Auto 5, it's safe to say that fans around the world blew up in excitement as they hadn't got a new GTA game since 2008. People were starting to get a little concerned about the overhyping the whole procedure, but on release to the consoles, Rockstar Game made it evidently clear that they were moving on with the times and managed to develop one of the most popular Grand Theft Auto games ever made. Not only that, but GTA 5 remains to this very day as one of the most played video games at any given time, all thanks to the phenomenal GTA Online game mode, which basically gave players the chance to live out their crime wave fantasies as they please. It wasn't only the online that the developers managed to do an incredible job on, but the story, the characters, and the world creation were all top notch once again and showed that Rockstar Games are here to stay for the long run. 5 years on, this game is still getting the same love and support it received from day one, something that many games cannot attest to in the slightest.
Number 2.
There's no denying that GTA 1 and 2 were both exceptional games and were nothing like anything else at the time of release. But following on from those games, Grand Theft Auto 3 managed to carve its own path into a new and unique approach on its crime-based titles. Players were given an opportunity to explore this new open world however they decided, tackling missions when they felt like it and escaping the police in whatever mode of transport they could get their hands on at the time. Now, while it's easy to say that the game is dated at this stage, considering it's closing in on its 17th birthday, the game as a whole still manages to hold up significantly well in comparison to other games at the time, and that's simply an attest to the developers themselves. A lot of care and effort went into this specific Grand Theft Auto game at the time, and while everything was new, changing, and a little bit scary, in the end they created one of the best-selling PlayStation 2 games of all time.
Number 1.
Anyone who had the absolute pleasure of playing this exceptional Grand Theft Auto game will know exactly why it's on this list as number 1 game out of all of them. First of all, you have the main protagonist of CJ, who you quickly find yourself attaching to as a character, even if the rest of the world around him seems completely crazy and out of control. At the start of the game, you'd be mistaken into thinking the story wasn't a big deal, but by the end of the game, you'll quickly realize that you've been roped in and haven't been let go until the final credits roll after finishing that final satisfying mission. Not only that, but San Andreas became the very definition of sandbox. You can ride, fly, or drive anything you could set your eyes on. CJ could be dressed up or down however you choose and could be made to whatever shape you desire, providing you fed him right or wrong. With San Andreas, there was just so much to see and do from the very beginning that it was hard to stop and became that much easier to come back to. Keeping it real, while all the other Grand Theft Auto games on this list are excellent games, if you haven't done yourself a favor of playing San Andreas by this point, then now's the time to make a start. The graphics in 2008 might not be everyone's cup of tea, but once you get over that hurdle, it is a game that I don't think you will be disappointed by playing. Anyway, peeps, what do you make of my 5 favorite Grand Theft Auto games that had the most impact on me personally? I know many will feel that Grand Theft Auto 5 should be sitting in the #1 spot, and whilst I will admit that in terms of graphics, game mechanics and overall experience, it's hard to deny the fact that GTA 5 is probably the best Grand Theft Auto game ever created. But since it came out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, I personally didn't find myself really playing it as much on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, even though I actually ran out to grab it on both consoles. GTA 3 to me was the game that actually made me really love the GTA series, and to be honest, I was even close to placing that game in the #1 spot, just given the impact that it personally had on me. But San Andreas, when you do talk about impact, was one of the games that definitely blew me away from the first impressions. The radio stations, to the gang wars, to how big the map was, to even doing co-op from the couch, and just all of the small attention to detail literally made San Andreas one of the games that certainly stood out to me when I talk about Grand Theft Auto games. Do let me know in the comments on the Grand Theft Auto game that probably had the most impact on you, and what do you make of my personal list? As always, if you did enjoy this urban gameplay video, be sure to hit the like button, and until next urban gameplay video, we definitely say peace out, peeps.